So let's talk about your game in here. What's your comment about this game? Is that in my games I often win my lane and then I make space for my carries, but they are unable to capitalize on the fact that enemy carry is less farmed because forced out of the lane or many denies. They have space because enemies are constantly TPing to offlane, so oftentimes they can group up and fight as five just because someone is defending me. But in the end, I think big advantage in the laning stage does not even matter in this bracket because everybody is just mindlessly farming. What can I do better after laning stage to win more games? General posture strategy and my mistakes and fails in that game will be really useful. Thanks. All right. So well, let's see if you actually win this lane. Where's the match? Let's see it here. You're playing Venomancer, right? Against Medusa. I think you lost the lane in this one.
Oh, that is too good.
Bright and breezy.
Well, I'm not sure if you actually lost the lane or
30 seconds
you win
to
it,
battle.
but their farm is kind of low, so maybe you managed to win and create so much space. Okay, here. I always tell this thing to my students that please reserve your skill point because you don't know what will happen in the bounty contest. What if there's a fight going on and then you can get the first blood? So instead of going for poison sting, you can go for Q, venomous gale, and then secure the first
The
blood.
battle begins.
Right? So those things. The problem with Venomancer is that you're so weak in the early, but once you got like level 3, 4, 5, 6, you can easily take over of the lane and the jungle. So I want to know what you will do in that time when you're kind of weak. And another thing, when it comes to your itemization though, I'm not sure about this. Like going for a 2 mango, are you expecting to cast a lot of spells in here? I mean, when it comes to the spell usage that you have, is only a Venomous Gale. 125 mana. The HP regen is kind of not that great. And you're going to play against Medusa, so when it comes to these kind of items, you're not going to be able to contest with the last hitting in this lane. So it's going to be Medusa and then who's the other hero? Is it Hoodwink or just Grim? Still waiting for uh, later when it comes to the emojis. So here in this lane, first is the itemization. Since Medusa is kind of reliant on the physical damage and last hitting to get more levels, I don't think going for the enchanted mango is really good in this game or in this lane in particular. And also, you need to think about the draft of the enemy. They have Bristleback, right? They have SF, they have Hoodwink, but when it comes to the Bristleback, he's gonna be tanky. And when there are tanky heroes, strength tanky heroes in the enemy, the first thing that will come into my mind as an offlane is going for this item, um, going for Vessel, because this is this is based on the HP, current HP of the enemy, and then it will reduce the healing and then life steal, and then deal DPS as well. And also it can be used to heal yourself or your allies. So going for Vessel is really nice when it comes to these kind of games where there is an absolute tank in the enemy that will really mess around. So with Vessel you can prevent that from happening because you're basically making them squishier than the usual. Uh, So before Vessel, you have the Urn of Shadows, 840, and look what it provides you. It gives you the attributes. You have the Circlet. It gives you the armor, which is nice against Medusa and right clicks in general. So you could go for Ring of Protection as well. Another thing is the mana regen that you actually need as a Venomancer. So the Urn of Shadows or going into the Vessel will solve a lot of problems on you, like especially the mana department, and also the sustain for your HP whenever you get kills. And another thing is that your team doesn't have a good Vessel carrier. Like this one, I don't think he will go for Vessel. This one, I don't think so as well. Of course, Monkey King is not gonna do that. Skadi maybe, Shiva maybe, but Vessel, no one else is gonna buy it. So it's gonna be you. When it comes to the offlane, mentality, you need to think about the problems of your team and what can you do about it. And also for the enemy as well. If the enemy relies so much on physical damage, you go for items that will prevent that from happening. Like going for armor, even pipe if the enemy is magical. Disruptor bought it, the Vessel. How if your support bought the Vessel, what's the time that he got it? Holy shit, 30 minutes? You think this is good? 30 minutes? I don't think this is good. If your support got his first or second item, like Vessel, I'm sure they have like the spell already at that point. Maybe BKB, Lotus Orb, Yules, or any other defensive items. So at this point of the game, I think the effectiveness of Vessel is useless now because it's very late, 30 minutes. The soonest you got the Vessel, the better. So it will be nice if you go for Vessel in this laning stage or in this particular game because you're the offlaner and then you have more resources to get, and it's gonna be hard for you to last it since you only have like 47. Your best friend is going to be the creep aggro. I should try to aggro right now. And yeah, another item that you can go in here is the Killing Blade. One of the good things about the Killing Blade is that cutting the trees so you can make some paths in the jungle. And look at the bonus damage. Against non-hero units by 12 for melee heroes, and then plus 6 on range. So plus 6 on range, that's actually huge. Right now you only have 49 damage because of the plus 2 on the Fairy Fire. If you have plus 6, you will have like 55 damage, and it's gonna be much easier for you to last it if that's gonna be the case. Since we're talking about Venomancer in here, you're going for boots. Although the only slow of the enemy is the Grimstroke and it's skill based. I am not going to recommend boots immediately and at this point of the game, like with the Venomancer. If it's me, I'll go for Urn of Shadows first and try to trade hits with this Medusa. But it feels to me it's too early for you to actually fight this Medusa. I think it's gonna be better if you got like level 3 before playing aggressive. Level 3, level 4. That's the time that you should play aggressive. Because once you have 2 points in the Poison Sting, every time that you hit the Medusa, it's gonna be nice. Because of the duration and the slow. And the damage per second. So level 3. That's the time that you should go. But for now, focus on denying, like farming, yeah. Preserve your resources. I think you will get level 3 at this point. You should get level 3 right now. Okay, level 3. Poison Sting, this is gonna be massive. So I wonder how you're gonna play about it. With level 3, get back. You're actually tanking the creeps. Holy shit. You're really tanking the creeps right there. You think he's dead? Yeah, he's dead. You need to be more careful about those kind of aggressive maneuver. If you cannot de-aggro the creeps, it will really hurt. Now you're forced to buy your salve, like consumables, to sustain yourself because you think that tango is not enough in here. And another thing is that instead of using your courier, since it's still walking, you're still level 3, right? It's still walking, level 3. You can actually try to drop it, and then let the disruptor pick it for you. Since he died and then he is respawning and he TP'd to the lane, you can actually tell him, if possible, pick the items and then deliver it to you. In that way, there's lesser downtime of you. Because now that you are still waiting for yourself, you're kind of playing defensive, right? But if you have the salve, like right now, you're possibly full HP and then possibly you're going to go forward again. And then try to attack this Medusa or this Grimstroke with a level 2 poison thing. But now, it's not happening because you're playing defensive. And now you're tanking Crips again. Going to salve, I guess. Bracer. I don't think this is actually needed. I think Urn is fine. Urn is fine. And potentially you'll be able to get kills in there. You actually went for Plague Ward immediately. Miss Gale. Wait, how do you use your Plague Ward? You're actually pushing the lane and then you're not denying it. You're giving free farm to the enemy. And then the lane is being pushed right now because of your Plague Wards as well. They managed to attack the creeps. Okay. You have fortification, maybe dive. You should dive. If you mastered the creep aggro, like attack the Medusa under tower, it's gonna be perfect. Here, keep on. Yeah, threaten the Medusa. Go, go, go. You should go. You don't want to. You're just going to feed your Plague Wards in here.
War has come to Radiant's
That's it.
bottom tower.
But the good thing though, the Medusa is not getting any farm, and you'll use your spell on the Grimstroke. You shouldn't try to waste your mana. As you can see, you're having issues with mana. You don't have main go anymore. And we're talking about position 5 Grimstroke, right? If it's something like Medusa, it's fine, but and you're buying consumables again.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And you're almost dead. You're actually losing the lane. You are definitely losing the lane. Skill based. Now you're forced to chill a bit. And then potentially get all of those consumables. I think it will be wise if you just go back to the base. Because even if you go in here, you're still alone. And I don't think Disruptor should go in the bottom again. He did. Because your Lina kind of needs some attention as well, like help. 2.8, 2.2. So your Lina needs some help. But yeah, it's fine if you go in here. Okay, level 5. Glimpse, nice. Who's dead? Level 6, level 4. Now you're level 5. That's actually nice. Go for Plague Ward build. Okay. Well, potentially the Medusa is going to farm in there.
Not what it used to be. That is for certain.
You're going for a Veil of Discord? For more magic damage, perhaps?
Dire's middle tower is not what it used to be. That is for certain. Super fortified.
Stop
it. Like Dire's middle tower.
It's a good try that you are denying your Plague Wards. But I think you should deny, or if you're going to control the lane, you should try to command those snakes to stop pushing the lane, like stop auto attacking. Does these Plague Wards block camp? Yeah. It will. They can block it. So at this point though, I actually want you to take over of the jungle, push this lane, and then go for the jungle. Because if you're not going to push it, it's gonna be a waste of your time and the disruptor's time. If the Medusa is not here anymore, you can just give the lane to the disruptor and get his level 6. So let's say you're Venomancer, you play in here and here, or and even invade in here, or even here, just camp in here. So what will happen is that you're going to deny the jungle creeps to your Medusa, and at this point of the game, she cannot actually take the triangle right now because you're still weak. So if you just go for the aggressive in here, like farm the neutral creeps, these camps, and then these 3 camps, um, since it's so hard for you to push against this Grimstroke, you don't have catapult. It's it's really good if you just take the neutrals and then stop. Your presence alone is enough to scare this Medusa away because of your snakes. The Medusa don't want to fight. She just wants to farm. So you staying in the bottom lane is not gonna achieve that much because the Grimstroke is in here. Grimstroke is in here. You have no catapult, and even if you, yeah, even if you manage to hit the Gale, it's not gonna be that easy for you to push it. But I think you will be able to push it now because the Grimstroke is out of mana and kind of low. But still, it's still a time for the Medusa to recover, like 2 minutes in there. And you're really buying a lot of consumables as well, like Tango, Salve, Clarity. You actually buy a lot of it. Even Clarity is not needed anymore because you already have the Veil of Discord. You just need to use it wisely. And please don't pressure the bottom tier 2 for now. Remember what I said earlier. If you control this area, you will deny those camps to the Medusa. And since, or you can play in here, put wards in here, and then invade in here, and then go back again if it's time. So you should not be content with just the lane. Sure, you managed to scare this Medusa away from the lane, but you are not stopping the Medusa from farming either, right?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is
Your
under
pressure is not
attack.
enough. And you want to go for travels. Now you go to mid. This is actually nice. If they use the Requiem of Souls to you, you should tell your team about it. That SF doesn't have ulti, we can actually fight in here. And yeah, they're not going to defend it. Yeah, easy tower in the mid. And since you managed to take the tier 1 on the mid, it's gonna be much easier for you to take or to invade the triangle. So here, since you are not that strong yet to play in the tier 2 and then push it, I actually don't want you to go in there. Again, you just took the mid lane, right? And then SF still no ulti. So I actually want you to go here to here and then start invading the triangle. Right? And then after you invade the triangle, you can go to the top lane as well. So once you took all of the tier 1 at this point of the game, it's gonna be massive for your team because Medusa has lesser space to farm. You don't actually care about this bottom tier 1. But yeah, it seems like you're going to defend in the bottom. Yeah, you're not really taking advantage of your strength of your Venomancer. While you're camping in here, this is not really beneficial to you and to your team. So here's the thing, right? You just finish your mid. And you know for sure that you cannot easily take the tier 2. And you have so many wards in here, like Observer. That means you're so safe in here. right? You're so safe. But the problem is that they're going on the Monkey King, since you know that since the enemy know that you're in bottom. Now you're forced to TP. The offlaner is reacting instead of creating plays, which is really different, you know. Because if you created the play, like going after the mid tier 1, you make the play in here, like SF no Requiem, Medusa is still not yet ready to fight, and then Bristleback just showed up in here. You can just invade this and then plant a lot of plague wards in here, and then you are the one that will make them play Dota on your own terms. Okay? Because if you're just going to react to the enemy's movements, possibly you're late, and possibly the objective is not gonna be taken. So it's very different if you're the one that is making the plays and then forcing the enemy to react to what you are doing, because in that way you could think if what you're doing is right, what you're doing is the right pressure or not. Go on SF, nice. SF dead. Okay. So what you're gonna do about it? SF is dead. Hoodwink no ulti. Bristleback dead. Respawning, and then you're going to mid again. And you saw the Hoodwink in here. Bristleback, Medusa. Okay. You should disengage by now. You're gonna get anything in here next. Bristleback is really playing on fire. And again, you're playing in bottom again. Right? You know that you're so strong as Venomancer. Even with this farm, like 4k farm, you're so strong. Because the enemy cannot really handle your plague wards early on, and then the poison stings. But the problem is where you're making use of your strength as a Venomancer, right? If you play bottom, they will just play in the ancients, which is really hot, which is really nice for them because they have Medusa that will play or that will need the ancients, and then get big enough to take care of your plague wards and your team's damage. You cannot really push this bottom. You need to realize it. Even with level 4 plague wards, it's not gonna happen. But what you can do is actually take the top tier 1. And yeah. You're gonna lose this fight again. Retreating. And please don't go for travels, please. Because if you go for travels, you're telling me that you want to farm. If you want to put more pressure to the enemy, maybe get some sustain items or aura items. Like Greaves, Pipe, even Crimson Guard, those items. So again, so far with your Venomancer gameplay, you just kept on reacting. Yep, that's another thing. If you bought the travels, you will automatically have TP. And since you bought 2 TPs, I think it will be sold immediately as well. See it here. It will be sold, yeah. And then only one will be there. It will be sold if you have extra TPs. So yeah. When it comes to your farming pattern as well, since you are here, like let me put it in here. You're playing in here, right? Your Plague Wards has vision, and you already have an observer in here. To me, you are farming or playing too safely. So if you actually play to top lane and then you start planting those Plague Wards, even if you don't have observer in here, it's fine. Because those Plague Wards of yours will give vision. And it's basic. Venomancer is actually one of the wall heroes that is you need some like invisibility or gap closing ability or items to deal with or sustain as well. Venomancer is actually one of the annoying hero to play with or to play against because of the insane map control that he will have or that he will do in the game. But yeah, so far you're not really abusing the capability of the Venomancer. And yeah, the Monkey King should not be fighting right now. You should invade in here. You can invade. You can force them to play bottom only, and then your forward team can play in here. And since they're under farm, possibly you're going to win the fight. But I think you're kind of busy with the skirmishes on these places, which is not really stopping the win condition of the enemy. I think that's the biggest problem in here. You don't know the win condition of the enemy, but I'm sure you know that it's going to be Medusa, right? That the win condition of the enemy. So if you know that the Medusa is their win condition, how can you stop the Medusa from farming? So yeah, Ancient Camp is the answer. Instead of fighting the Grimstroke, Bristleback, SF, those heroes, go for Medusa. And yeah, you got bursted. Maybe it's because you're kind of late when it comes to the placement of your plague wards as well. Look at here, right?
That's for me.
Why would you even go in here? Like, plant the plague wards in the lane. I think you're kind of late to realize the danger in here. Like, yeah, I'm gonna plant the plague wards in here. Maybe I'll get ganked. And tada, SF is in here. You're late. You're dead. And the travels didn't save you. Fairy Fire didn't save you. So that's why I've mentioned that you need sustain in the actual lane. Or in the mid game, because travels will not really even going for Shadow Blade, it's not gonna help you against that burst combo of SF, right? You recognize that you're full HP in there, 1.2 HP. You got 100 to 0 by SF with the use and then Requiem combo, and then you went for useless item that will not help you survive in there, like Shadow Blade. If you're quick with it, you should go for Cloak, at least, to get some magic resistance. You can even go for Glimmer Cape on it later. And again, you should push the top lane. If you push the top lane, it will open up the map. Like, you can easily invade the jungle or the triangle. But here, if you defended this tier 1 bottom, it's not gonna be that great. It's more of defensive. So this is another part where you are just reacting to the enemy's movement. You don't have a game plan. You don't have you don't want them to play on your terms. Like, you're not the one dictating how the fight should happen, where it should happen. That's nice dodge by Monkey King right there with the mischief. But if the SF actually went on you, like Yules and then Requiem, you just need to pray that your team is nearby to cancel the casting of the Requiem, and then you will survive. Because with this kind of item, it's not gonna achieve that much. Yeah, this Nether Soul is. You guys are taking the tier 2 bottom, and then you're playing in here skirmishes again. So if you go for Vessel, it's really helpful. If you're going to play skirmishes like this, go for Vessel, Force Staff, Glimmer Cape. It's gonna be helpful when it comes to these kind of skirmishes. And since you TP'd to mid instead of taking the bottom tower, you lose the fight, you lose control of the map. And at this point of the game, I think your Venomancer is irrelevant to the game right now. Because they can easily handle your Plague Wards, and then they have enough damage and farm to fight you. They will not care about your Plague Wards anymore, because they can just kill you and then retreat after. You actually need the Nether Soul. So they went for Roshan. They saw you TP'd in there. and you're losing the game, and you're going to split push again, bottom again, dead again, right? Shadow Blade didn't help you in there. Teach me that, bro. What the fuck? Outplay literally? I think you just never learned from your lesson. Like, he did it once, and then he did it again. So he did it once, and then you're going for you went for Shadow Amulet, and then going for Shadow Blade. So I think it's all new. If you fall for it once, it's fine. Maybe it's a surprise that he got used. But if you died twice or thrice with the same way, it's gonna be stupidity right there. So it's not nice. You need to be quick when it comes to the reactions. And yeah, I think that at this point of the game, Sewa, I think the game is over at this point. Do you have any questions to me though, Sewa? Because I think right now your hero is gonna be useless, and the enemy is already activated. They can easily handle your Plague Wars and then your damage, and I don't think you will be relevant anymore in this game. Especially with your draft, like the only one that will scale with the damage is Lina and then Monkey. But the enemy heroes, like all of them will scale. Hoodwink, Grimstroke, SF, Medusa, and Bristleback. They will all gonna scale. And it's gonna be difficult for you to make a comeback in questions though. Just want to know. Shadow Blade is not really helpful. And Bristleback is alive for the longest time because of the spell left. I am overwhelmed by a lot of information. Holy shit. It's gonna be a problem if you got overwhelmed. I don't know which info is you're gonna retain or remember. But don't worry about it though, we're going to upload all of the coaching videos that we have in my YouTube channel. So since you don't have any questions, and you actually managed to win a team fight, but I think it's more of a enemy being bad at disengage. They got cocky that, yeah, we're strong, let's go, high ground, you know. So I think it's just you just punish them for being cocky and they're overconfident. It's a mistake from your enemy, but do you really want to just punish the mistakes of the enemy, or you want to create opportunities and force them to make mistakes? Because if you just want to punish them for every mistakes, it's not gonna be great. Because the higher MMR you go, the less mistakes they're going to commit. So the other way, the more reliant way is to make the plays happen and then force them to commit mistakes, pressure them. Because in that way, you can think about everything. Like, I'm gonna play here. This is what I want to do, and then this should be their reaction. If they don't react like this, I will take the triangle, you know, for free, and those things. So if you're the offlaner, you need to think about how can you make use of your hero to its best abilities or capabilities. You need to be more creative. Because for the most part, offlanes will only need levels for the most part, unless you're some offlane like Nature's Prophet that needs farm and then levels. But for the most part, when it comes to the offlane heroes, they just need levels and then they will create space. But when it comes to creating space, it's a question of how do you play your hero, where do you play your hero, how do you abuse the map movement, and also the cooldowns of the spells, like the Requiem thing that I've mentioned, you know. So yeah. So I have nothing else to say. You're going to split push again, even though you're not really that quick when it comes to split pushing. So this one is really low reward, low to high risk play, but it's really low reward. I mean, it's fine that the Medusa is here and then your team is actually doing it. But yeah, it should be you doing it, right? Instead of the Disruptor, instead of the Champ, because you have more items than them. right? Can you imagine that your disruptor with one item or two items, Chen
Killing
with one or two
spree.
items, is doing more than you with like these farm, right? They're doing more than you. They're being you're being
Double
outperformed by your
kill.
team with less items, which doesn't look good in paper. So yeah, that's all that I can say about your game, Seiwa. I'm going to end the analysis here of your game, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks. You're welcome. So that means you don't have any more questions, right? I'm going to put a check mark on your request now, Siwa, since we're good. And thank you for your time, bro. Hopefully you learned a lot and play a game or two, and then let me know if it's effective or if it's helpful by sending me a feedback in the server as well. Okay. Oh, all right. I appreciate your time as well.